Namaste. Good afternoon, viewers. And I am your emotional healing synergist. This is Dr. Aparna. I am an Ayurvedic psychotherapist, a passionate infopreneur, edupreneur, and medical writer. So, today's session is a series on self help, on mental health. So, this is a series on insights of Bhagavad Gita on holistic health and mental health. As you can see in my background, Bhagavad Gita, we are talking about Bhagavad Gita today. This is the most requested topic. This is the third session on Bhagavad Gita. You can watch both my first and second sessions on LinkedIn and YouTube. I will provide the links in the description or in the comments. So this is the third. This is the third series, third episode or third session. So, in this, we are going to see how Bhagavad Gita, reading Bhagavad Gita impacts or the shlokas some of the shlokas in the Bhagavad Gita impact our, self development. And these are self help guides, as I have told in the earlier sessions as well, that Bhagavad Gita is not just a sacred Hindu script or philosophy. It is a training manual on life. And the problems, how to deal with the problems. For every problem, there is a solution in Bhagavad Gita if you, read it carefully. And if you make a practice of reading Bhagavad Gita, it will help you eventually on your holistic health. It will have an impact on your holistic health. This I am telling with my experience. I started reading Bhagavad Gita 2 years ago. I'm reading Bhagavad Gita. I'm still understanding, still comprehending. My specialty is to correlate Bhagavad Gita and psychotherapy and find out Bhagavad Gita insights on mental health. So, let's get started. So, today's thing is like how the Bhagavad Gita, a sacred text of Hindu philosophy, contains many profound insights that can be applied to the concept of holistic health. So, here are some interesting insights from the Bhagavad Gita. So, Bhagavad Gita talks on balance of body, mind, and spirit. The Bhagavad Gita emphasizes the importance of maintaining a balance between the body, mind, and spirit. It teaches that true well being comes from nurturing all aspects of our being, not just focusing on the physical health. The holistic approach recognizes that physical health is interconnected with mental, emotional, and spiritual well being. So it is not only the physical health, we should also concentrate on mental, emotional, and spiritual well being. This is a message in Bhagavad Gita. So, yoga as a path to holistic health. So, Bhagavad Gita introduces the concept of yoga, which means union or integration. Yoga in the Gita encompasses various paths, including Karma Yoga, the path of selfless action, Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion, Jnana Yoga, or Jnana Yoga, the path of knowledge, and Dhyana Yoga, that is the path of meditation. Practicing yoga in its broader sense can help individuals achieve harmony and balance in all dimensions of their life. So, Bhagavad Gita talks about four types of yoga. That is, one is Karma Yoga, the path of selfless action; Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion; Jnana Yoga, the path of knowledge; and Dhyana Yoga, the path of meditation. So, Control of mind. Bhagavad Gita surprisingly talks about control of the mind. The Bhagavad Gita emphasizes the importance of controlling the mind. It recognizes that a restless and undisciplined mind can lead to suffering and imbalance. By cultivating mindfulness and self awareness, individuals can gain control over their thoughts, emotions, and actions, leading to improved mental and emotional well being. So, detachment from the results. The Bhagavad Gita encourages individuals to focus on their actions rather than being overly attached to the outcomes. I will also give out all the shlokas with the explanation in this session itself. This is only a brief, just a brief introduction before I go get it into the shlokas. So, detachment from the results. Bhagavad Gita encourages individuals to focus on their actions rather than being overly attached to the outcomes. This teaching is relevant to holistic health as it helps individuals reduce stress and anxiety by letting go of the need for external validation or results. By doing their best and surrendering the attachment to the results, individuals can find peace and contentment in the present moment. I have elaborated on this in my earlier sessions as well. What we do as humans is our tendency is to get attached to the results. But Bhagavad Gita explains that please do not get attached to the results, that is, be detached from the results, be attached to the process and focus on the actions rather than to the outcomes. See, what happens is if we follow this rule, we can reduce unnecessary stress and anxiety because of, need of, getting external validation or external improvement. We tend to, put ourselves into stress and anxiety. So by doing their best and surrendering the attachment to the results, individuals can find peace and contentment in the present moment. And Bhagavad Gita also talks about harmony with nature. The Bhagavad Gita acknowledges the interconnectedness of all living beings and stresses the importance of living in harmony with nature. It promotes a sense of ecological awareness and respect for the environment, recognizing that the well being of the individual is intricately linked to the well being of the planet. By adopting sustainable and eco friendly practices, individuals can contribute to their own health and the health of the planet. This is so true. And Bhagavad Gita also talks about self care and self discipline both. The Bhagavad Gita teaches the importance of self care and self discipline. It encourages individuals to lead a disciplined and balanced life, which includes following a proper diet, engaging in a regular physical exercise, and getting adequate rest, and practicing moderation in all aspects of life. These principles are fundamental to the holistic health as they promote overall well being and vitality. These are just a few insights from the Bhagavad Gita that can be applied to the concept of holistic health. By integrating these teachings into our lives, individuals can strive for a harmonious balance of body, mind, and spirit, leading to holistic well being. See, ultimately, the goal of life is for all of us is we all strive for a harmonious balance of body, mind, and spirit. This itself is holistic well-being. So, Bhagavad Gita shlokas on self help provide practical guidance for personal growth, self discipline, spiritual development. By reflecting upon applying these teachings in our daily life, we can cultivate inner strength, clarity, and peace, leading to holistic well-being. So how here are some mental health insights, so I'm going to read out. For equanimity and for detachment, there is a shloka from second chapter 48th verse. I will read out the shloka, the translation, and the explanation, so that it will be good to understand. So, Yogastha Kuru Karmani Sangam Tyaktva Dhananjaya Siddhya Siddhayo Samo Bhutva Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. This shloka from the chapter 2 and 48th verse talks about yoga. So, what it says is that I'll repeat the shloka once again. Yogastaha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. That means perform your duty equiposed, O Arjuna, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga. So and detachment to success or failure, that means the detachment to results and attachment to the action, and this equanimity samatvam is yoga. So in this verse, Lord Krishna advises Arjuna to perform his duties while maintaining a yogic state of mind. So, what is the yogic state of mind? Yogastaha Kuru Karmani means Yogastaha is being established in yoga. Kuru Karmani refers to performing one's duties. See, that means you have to perform your duties as a yogi. The verse suggests that one should engage in their prescribed duties with a yogic consciousness. Here, yogi means not the yoga asanas. Don't correlate it to the yoga asanas. Yoga has much more to it. There are ashtangas of yoga. If you have heard of Patanjali Yoga Sutras and the ashtangas of yoga, I have talked about it in my session on yoga on International Yoga Day. But if you want another session, please let me know. I will come up with yoga sutras, that means ashtangas of yoga, and yoga pratyaharas, that which is related to the mental health, in my coming sessions. So now here, Yogastaha Kuru Karmani is being established in yoga. That is, yoga is here yogic consciousness. That is the ashtangas, to follow the ashtangas of yoga, that is yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, all these things. There are 8 limbs. So sangam tyaktva dhananjaya is, sangam is implies attachment, and tyaktva is abandoning or letting it go. The shloka advises Arjuna to renounce attachment to the outcomes of his actions. It encourages him to perform his duties without being overly concerned about success or failure. See, that means, you have to be detached from the outcomes and keep yourself attached to the actions. So if you ask me, Aparna, why are you reading out the shloka, giving us the meaning, and what is the context of doing it? So one is that I want, you know everybody to, the intention behind doing this session is, I want everybody to start reading Bhagavad Gita. And second thing is letting know that, what the modern psychotherapy, the modern mental health concept is being explained or is being talked about now, it is not new to us. It is there in our philosophy, in our history, in our Vedas, Puranas, Bhagavad Gita, from a long, long, long ago. Just we have to be aware of that, and we have to follow to get maximum productivity out of it, and maximum benefits out of learning, reading, and inculcating Bhagavad Gita and other philosophical texts into our lives. So, this is the reason why I am focusing on the session. So let's continue. So Sangam Tektva Jananjaya, as I said, you have to, get rid of, detach yourself from the results or the outcomes, and attach yourself to the action, and and the work you do. Instead of the outcomes, please get attached to the process. And it encourages him to perform his duties without being overly concerned about success or failure. So siddhya siddhyo samobhutva means, siddhya siddhyo is referred to success and failure. The verse suggests that one should strive to treat success and failure alike. Don't, people say, don't get success को अपने सर पे मत चढ़ने दो. That means don't, yeah, let your success get on your head, or failure, and don't make take your failure to rule your heart. Like, so that in the same way, you should take success and failure alike. Again, this, what this does is, this feeling relieves you from the unnecessary stress and anxiety a person takes, when while he's doing something. So instead of that, if we concentrate on the process and the action, that is consistent action and efforts with the right strategy, I always mention this, then in, success is any day on your way. So treat success and failure alike, and developing equanimity of mind regardless of the outcomes. By cultivating such an attitude, one remains unaffected by the dualities of life. And Samatvam Yoga Uchyate is, this part of the shloka states that equanimity of mind is referred to as yoga. It signifies that one maintains a balance and calm state of mind, unaffected by external circumstances. They are practicing yoga. So what is the use ultimately of yoga? Is a yogi is unaffected by the external circumstances. He is neither affected by the success nor affected by the failure. He is not even affected by the outcomes. A yogi, or the yogic consciousness, a person who has yogic consciousness, only concentrate on his karma. So this verse emphasizes on the importance of performing one's duty with a yogic consciousness, and letting go of the attachment to the results, and developing equanimity. So it encourages individuals to focus on the effort and intention behind their actions rather than being overly concerned about the outcomes. By maintaining equanimity, one can find inner peace, balance, and detachment from the fluctuations of success and failure. See, this shloka teaches us the essence of karma yoga, the path of selfless action. By performing our duties selflessly without attachment to the fruits of our actions, we can attain a state of inner balance and harmony. It reminds us to focus on the present moment and act with a mind free from desires and expectations, leading to spiritual growth and liberation. The ultimate goal is the spiritual growth, and by mind, body, and spirit, and liberation. And this verse, as I said, it emphasizes on the importance of performing our duties without being attached to the outcomes. The next shloka is control of the mind. Control of the mind. How to control the mind? Bandhur Bandhur Atmat Manastasya Yena Atmaiva Atmanajita Anatmanastu Shatrutve Vartate Vartet Vartet Atmaiva Shatruvat. So Bandhur Atmat मनस्तस्य येन आत्मैव आत्मना जिता अनात्मानस्तु शत्रुवे वर्तते वर्तेत वर्तेत आत्मैव शत्रुवत्. For him who has conquered the mind is the best of the friends. But for one who has failed to do so, the mind will remain the greatest enemy. See, Lord Krishna is trying to explain in this chapter 6 and shloka 6 or the verse 6, Bandhur Atmat Manastasya. See, for him who has conquered the mind is the best of the friends. Yena Atmaiva Atmanajita. Anatmanastu Shatruve. Anatmanastu Shatruve is, one who has failed to conquer the mind will remain the greatest enemy. Vartet Atmaiva Shatruvat. So, Manas will be his Shatru. So his mind will remain the greatest enemy. So for him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But one for who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy. See, this verse highlights is the significance of controlling the mind. When we have mastery over our thoughts and emotions, the mind becomes our ally and leading us towards self realization and inner peace. However, if we allow the mind to control us, it can become a source of turmoil and suffering. See how insightful this shloka is. The mind, we know, if we control our mind, then the mind becomes our ally, and what happens eventually is self realization and inner peace. And however, if we allow the mind to control us, can become a source of turmoil and suffering. So this holds so true in even in the field of modern mental health as well. So that is a concept of train your brain and control your mind. All these concepts, were explained so beautifully in the um, Mahabharata era and in the Bhagavad Gita as well. So self discipline, and Bhagavad Gita also talks about self discipline and self control. What is the importance of self discipline and self control? The shloka goes like this shloka is from 6th chapter 26th verse. Yato nishchalati manas chanchalam astiram. Yato nishchalati manas chanchalam astiram. Tatastato niyamay niyamyatyad आत्मनै एव वशं नयेत्. So ततस्ततो नियमै नियम्यत्यात् आत्मनै एव वशं नयेत्. So from wherever the restless and unsteady mind wanders, one must certainly withdraw and bring it back under the control of the self. See, the self control and is also talked about in yoga pratyaharas, the pratyaharas of yoga. It is one of the Ashtanga, 8 limbs of yoga. That is one of the Ashtanga yogas. So, I will talk about it in some other session, but that is how to control. This is we are saying that from wherever the restless and unsteady mind wanders, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. Yato nischalati manas chanchalam astiram. So, what this verse emphasizes is the practice of self discipline and self control. It encourages us to observe the tendencies of the wandering mind and bring it back to the state of focused attention. By disciplining the mind, we can cultivate stability and clarity, which are essential for mental well being. So, also, this shloka, the shloka which I'm gonna read now, is from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 47. But this shloka is a very, a famous shloka or a famous quote, which I think most of you might have heard of. That is, Karmanyavadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur mate sangostva karmani. Mate sangostva karmani. So you have the right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your actions. So never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. I think this point we have to just, inculcate in our daily life, and it has to be just be scripted in our mind. So here it says Karmanyavadikaraste is the word karmani refers to the actions or duties, actions and duties. Evadikaraste means you have the right, you have the authority. This phrase highlights that individuals have the responsibility or the authority to perform their prescribed duties. Ma phaleshu kadachana, that means ma is do not here, while phaleshu refers to the fruits or the results of action. Be detached to the fruits or the outcomes of one's actions. It emphasizes that one should not work solely for the sake of rewards and desired outcomes. Ma karma phala hetur bhur mate sangosva karmani. So ma karma phala hetu means do not let the results of actions be your motive, and do not be attached. It means be detached. Do not let the results or of the actions be your motive. So this verse teaches the concept of nishkama karma, selfless action performed without attachment to the fruits of those actions. It is very difficult, in these days to do so, but if we cultivate the habit of concentrating on the process rather than the outcome, it helps us for the holistic well-being, to decrease the unwanted stress and anxiety. It reminds individual to focus on their duties and responsibilities with sincerity and dedication, while letting go of any expectations or desires for specific outcomes. The emphasis is on performing actions for the sake of duty and the service, rather than being driven by personal gains or rewards. See, by practicing this teaching, individuals can cultivate a sense of detachment, equanimity, and selflessness in their actions. It helps in reducing the burden of expectations and stress associated with the results. By focusing on the present moment and dedicating oneself to the righteous action, one can find the inner fulfillment, inner growth, and progress on the spiritual path. So, what happens is this is also very much relevant for students as well. We concentrate so much on the results of the students, we don't concentrate, we have to give in our, I do agree that we have to give in our best, and perform your duty sincerely, study sincerely, and give the exams. But usually parents also concentrate only on the results. So if by cultivating this, actually, major stress and anxiety on the students as well can be reduced. So the next shloka in the self-help series is from Bhagavad Gita 6th chapter 5th shloka. This is also a very popular quote, not only a popular quote, very relevant. Uddharet atmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet. Atmaiva hi atmano bandhur atmaiva hi ripuratmanaha. That means elevate yourself by yourself. Elevate oneself. See, we should not depend on others for doing something to us, elevating us. So do not degrade yourself. The self is a friend to oneself, and the self is a foe to oneself. So, how beautiful this shloka is. Lord Krishna advises Arjuna to uplift himself to self effort and self discipline. The shloka emphasizes personal responsibility for one's own growth and well being, and personal responsibility for one's own actions as well. So, Uddhared Atmanatmanam is the word. Uddhared means elevate or lift up, while Atmanatmanam refers to oneself or the individual self. The word suggests that individuals should take charge of their own upliftment, growth, and well being. Natmanam avasadayet. The term avasadayet means do not degrade or do not lower oneself. Do not have inferiority complex. We can correlate this with. Now, Natmana avasadayet is it advises against self-deprecation or indulging in negative thoughts and actions that hinder personal growth. Atmaiva hi Atmano Bandhur. This part of the shloka highlights that the self, Atman, can be a friend to oneself. This implies by nurturing and understanding one's true nature, the self becomes a supportive and guiding force in one's life. Atmaiva Ripuratmanaha is here the shloka states that that the self can also act as foe to oneself. It signifies that when one is influenced by negative thoughts, desires, or delusions, the self can become an adversary that obstructs personal progress. So, the shloka emphasizes the importance of self discipline, self motivation. See, here it is like when one is influenced, if you are influenced by negative thoughts, see, positive attracts positive, negative attracts negative. If you are influenced by positive thoughts, and then you can your you it leads to self development. If you are focused on or influenced by negative thoughts, desires, and delusions, the self can become an adversary that obstructs personal progress. The shloka emphasizes the importance of self discipline, self motivation, and self improvement. It encourages individuals to take responsibility for their own growth and well being. By uplifting oneself through self effort, individuals can overcome personal challenges, develop self awareness, and progress on the path of self realization. So, this verse reminds us that we have the power to elevate or degrade ourselves based on our thoughts, actions, and choices. By cultivating positive qualities, practicing self discipline, and focusing on self improvement, we can elevate ourselves to higher levels of personal and spiritual growth. So, another shloka, is this shloka I'm telling because what can be the harmful consequences of anger and delusion? It is beautifully explained in Bhagavad Gita, the consequences of anger and delusion. This shloka is, I found it significant in the mental health as well, in maintaining the mental health. See, Krodhat Bhavati Sammohaha, Sammohat Smriti Vibhramaha, Smriti Bhramshat Buddhinasho, Buddhinashat Pranashyati. So this Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 and 63 shloka, or the 63 verse, says Krodhat bhavati sammoha. From anger arises delusion. Sammohat smriti vibramaha. So from delusion arises the confusion of memory. And Smruti Bramshad Buddhi Nasho, from confusion of memory, there is a loss of intelligence. And Buddhi Nashat Pranashyati, from loss of intelligence, one is destroyed. That is Vinashakale Viparita Buddhi. This verse emphasizes on destructive progression that stems from anger. Here's a breakdown of the explanation, that is Krodhat bhavati sammoha. This part of the shloka states that anger leads to delusion. When one allows anger to overcome their mind, it clouds their judgment, distorts their perception, and hampers their ability to think clearly. So then what happens is Sammohat Smriti Vibramaha. The verse further explains that delusion arises from confusion of memory. In a state of anger induced delusion, one's memory becomes distorted, leading to a loss of clarity and rational thinking. Smriti Bramshat Buddhi Nasho. So this part highlights that confusion of memory results in the destruction of intelligence. When the mind is clouded by anger and delusion, it impairs one's intellectual faculties, decision making abilities, and discernment. Buddhinashat pranashyati. The verse concludes by stating that from the destruction of intelligence, one meets their downfall. When intelligence is compromised by anger and delusion, it can lead to detrimental actions, negative consequences, and personal destruction. This verse serves as a cautionary teaching, emphasizing the importance of recognizing and managing anger. It highlights the progressive nature of the anger and its impact on one's mental faculties and well being. So, how beautifully it has been explained in Bhagavad Gita. By understanding the destructive effects of anger and practicing emotional control, individuals can avoid falling into the cycle of delusion and its associated negative outcomes. So, the next shloka, Mm, the next shloka, talks about being surrendering to the supreme self. But I thought I will include this shloka as well. So it goes like this. This shloka is from the chapter 5 and verse 7. It says, Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriyaha sarvabhutatma bhutatma kurvan api na lipyate. So, yoga yukto vishuddhatma, vijitatma jitendriyah, sarvabhutatma bhutatma, kurvan api na lipyate. So, one who is engaged in devotional service, who is always absorbed in yoga, whose mind is pure and who has conquered the senses, realizes the supreme self in all beings and is not affected by them. That means this talks about getting into the spiritual field and engaging into the devotional service. You can engage into whoever you pray. If it is God, it is God. If it is Allah, it is Allah. If it is Guru Nanak ji, it is Guru Nanak. If it is Jesus Christ, it is Christ. But who has conquered the senses realizes the supreme self in all the beings and not affected by them, and to see every being as one. This also says that see every being as one. So it says, describes the quality and state of a yogi who is engaged in devotional service and absorbed in yoga. Here's an explanation. See, yoga yukto vishuddhatma is yoga yukto refers to being engaged in yoga. Yoga here is yogic consciousness. Okay, not only the yoga asanas here. Okay, or the path of union with divine. Vishuddhatma signifies a purified mind or a soul that is free from impurities. This verse suggests that a yogi who is dedicated to the practice of yoga with a pure mind in a state of spiritual elevation. So Vijitatma Jitendriyaha is, Vijitatma refers to one who has conquered self. That is why Jitendriyaha signifies having control over the senses. Conquering self and having control over the senses. So Vijitatma Jitendriyaha, the shloka implies that a yogi who has mastery over the mind and senses is able to transcend the influence of external distractions and desires. Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma here states that such a yogi realizes a supreme self in all beings. That is, he treats every being in an equal manner. In the same way, the yogi perceives the divine essence that resides within all living entities and recognizes the interconnectedness of the all creations. So, kurvan apina lipyate. The verse concludes by mentioning that even while engaging in worldly activities, the yogi remains unaffected by them. So, kurvan api nalipyate is the yogi is unaffected by the circumstances around him. So, the yogi remains detached from the actions of their outcome, maintaining a state of inner purity and equilibrium. So, the shloka emphasizes the quality and state of a yogi who is devoted to spiritual practice, self-discipline, and self-realization. It highlights the importance of a purified mind, control over the senses, and recognizing the divine presence in all beings. So, this suggests that by practicing yoga, maintaining purity of mind, and cultivating self mastery, one can experience a deeper connection with the Supreme Self and remain unaffected by the fluctuations of the external world. So, this teaching inspires individuals to lead a life of spiritual dedication, self discipline, and mindfulness in all actions. So, see, these are some of the self help, shlokas, or the shlokas which help in holistic well being and mental health from Bhagavad Gita. Now, to end the session, I have a shloka from Chanakya. So, Chanakya is an Indian philosopher, economics, and political strategist. He has written the Kautilya's Arthashastra. He was the advisor to Chandragupta Maurya. So, while it is not being a complete shloka, see, um, उद्यमेनैव सिद्ध्यन्ति कार्याणि न मनोरथैः. So what it says is nahi suptasya simhasya pravishanti muke mrugaha. So I will elaborate what it says. Udhyamenaiva siddhyanti karyani na manorathaihi translates to only through effort do achievements happen. This saying emphasizes the importance of hard work, dedication, and persistent effort in attaining success in any endeavor. So, according to Chanakya's teaching, success is not a result of luck or chance, but rather the outcome of deliberate and sustained efforts, consistent efforts. So, This concept aligns with his pragmatic approach to life, where he emphasized the significance of strategic planning, disciplined action, and focused perseverance. Chanakya believed that success requires proactive engagement, determination, and a willingness to put in the necessary effort. He emphasized that importance of setting clear goals, formulating effective strategies, and taking consistent action towards their accomplishment. So the saying Udyamenaiva Siddhyanti serves as a reminder that achievements and success are not handed out freely but are earned through hard work, dedication, and perseverance. It encourages individuals to take responsibility of their own progress, to strive for excellence, and to persist in the face of challenges and setbacks. By embracing this teaching, individuals are inspired to adopt a proactive mindset, develop a strong work ethic, and remain persistent in their pursuits. It encourages individuals to harness potential to take initiative and to exert focused effort to achieve their goals. So, in continuation of the shloka, it says nahi suptasya simhasya pravishanti muke mrugaha. That means it says that no deer enters the mouth of a sleeping lion. So the shloka carries a metaphorical meaning that can be applied to various aspects of life. So the verse compares a sleeping lion to an individual who is passive, inactive, or lacking vigilance. It states that no deer, symbolizing opportunities or successes, would willingly enter the mouth of a sleeping lion. In other words, if we are not alert, proactive, or ready to seize opportunities, they will pass us by. The shloka emphasizes the importance of remaining alert, proactive, and engaged in life. So it encourages individuals to be vigilant, ready to take actions, and seize opportunities when they arise. Just as a sleeping lion would miss its chance to capture prey, individuals who are not attentive or proactive may miss out an opportunity for growth, success, or progress. So, this message aligns with the teachings of being mindful, proactive, and attentive. So, the next shloka and the last shloka for the today's sessions is that is this shloka is highlights the transformative power of knowledge and its influence on cultivating humility. So here the shloka goes: Vidya dadhati vinayam, vinayam dadhati patratam, patratvam dhanamapnoti, dhanat dharmam, tatat sukham. So, Vidya dadati vinayam, vinayam dadati patratam, patratva dhanamapnoti, dhanat dharmam tatat sukham. So, knowledge bestows humility, humility begets worthiness, worthiness leads to wealth, and wealth brings happiness born out of righteousness. So the shloka expresses the relationship between knowledge, humility, worthiness, wealth, and happiness. So here it goes Vidya dadati vinayam. The phrase suggests that knowledge or education instills humility in a person. True knowledge and wisdom enables individuals to recognize their limitations and develop a sense of humility, modesty, and openness to learning. Vinayam dadati patratam. So, this part of the shloka states that humility begets worthiness or deservingness. When one possesses humility, they gain respect, recognition, and are considered worthy of higher virtues and qualities. Patratva. dhanamapnoti. So the words highlights that worthiness leads to wealth, and if you are deserving, you can earn wealth. Earning wealth is not a difficult thing. So wealth can be understood not only in terms of material wealth, but also abundance, prosperity, and success in various aspects of life. Dhanat dharmam tatat sukham. The shloka concludes by stating that wealth obtained through worthiness brings happiness born out of righteousness. True happiness attained when wealth is acquired and utilized in alignment with righteous principles, ethical conduct, and moral values. This talks about righteous principles, ethical conduct, and moral values. When the wealth is obtained through worthiness, that brings happiness, born out of righteousness. So this shloka emphasizes on the transformative power of knowledge, humility, and worthiness in one's journey towards happiness and prosperity. It suggests that education and knowledge not only broaden the intellect but also bring about a positive change in one's character, enabling them to lead a virtuous and fulfilling life. So, the highlight is the importance of cultivating humility, recognizing one's limitations, and approaching life with an attitude of continuous learning and growth. Then, it teaches humility, that humility leads to worthiness, which in turn paves the way for success, prosperity, happiness when acquired and utilized in a righteous manner. So, with this, we come to the end of the session, and do let me know how did you feel, about the session. How did you feel about the session? Did you like the session, or uh, let me know in the comments section. And thank you for staying tuned till now if you're still here. And namaste. That's it for today. And I'll meet you soon in the next session. Thank you.